Hey everybody, how's it going? So today I'm going to do a video I've been wanting to do for a very long time and I haven't had a chance to up until now, and that's taking a look at my 1988 Washburn Spitfire M1 model with a 29 fret neck. Now this was designed featuring something called the Stevens Extended Cutaway. If we look at this, the whole guitar has been chopped out in the back here. It's a neck through body design, but it's designed with upper access fret playing in mind. In fact, this guitar even came with a 36 fret option. You can get right up here, but I wanted a 2 pickup model. This guitar means an awful lot to me. I bought it in '88 and I've had it all this time. Let's get right into it. You know that scene in Wayne's World when he's looking at the classic Stratocaster and going, "Oh, it will be mine.
It will be mine."
That is exactly what happened to me in the spring of 1988. The local music store was a Washburn dealer and they had this model in black. And I was just like, oh, by crumb, I must have it. The only problem is back then it was a $1,500 guitar. And in today's dollars, that's well over $3,000. And for a 17-year-old kid, that might as well have been mission fucking impossible. There's no way I could have possibly afforded it. But somehow I managed. I wound up getting myself a job at the local Green Giant plant, and I worked all kinds of nasty jobs in green beans and corn, and even worked a midnight shift when the summer ended. So I was going to school during the day, sleeping as soon as I got home from school, getting up around 11 o'clock, and then going into work to clean out the freezers, and then back to school again. I had absolutely no life, but to get this guitar, it was worth it because here we are, 33 years later, I've still got it. Now, I haven't had this guitar on the show an awful lot because the Floyd was so heavily damaged from years of use. This is a lesson, you guys out there. If you're playing Floyd Rose systems, just throw a towel or something in your guitar case and wipe down your guitar when you're done playing it, because if you perspire, it's going to build up on the Floyd's hardware and it's going to chew at it. And my guitar, it was so far gone that it was actually drawing blood when I was playing it, and I'm like, okay, I can't use this anymore. So I reached out to my friends at Graphtech and asked them if they had any solutions. They're like, yeah, we've got saddles for a Floyd. And I'm like, perfect. The only problem is this is a licensed Floyd. This is a Washburn 600S by Taguchi, and you can still find these on Reverb every now and then. Graphtech was really cool, but they said, no, these should fit, they should work. Let's send you a set, let's see what happens. And I gotta say, this whole thing was inspired by my wife because I was restringing this thing one night, and I'm like, I really gotta put a new Floyd into this or some new saddlers or something. She's like, well, why don't you make an episode about that? I'm thinking, hey, great idea. So thanks, Julie. I really appreciate that. Great idea for an episode. So I get to tell the story about this thing finally. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut to the part where I put the new saddles on the Floyd and show you what that's all about and show you how I cleaned up the neck and polished down the frets and get it in playing position. Let's go to that right now. All right, first saddle is in place. Whoa, there goes the tooth from it. Interestingly enough, the new pins that lock down the strings, they don't quite fit through the gate, I guess that'd be the word for it, or the grid in the Floyd. The original ones are a little bit thinner. These are just a little too thick to go through, but they fit. The originals fit on the saddle just fine. So I've got that in place, and yeah, that looks much shinier. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull the entire Floyd off the back, pull the tremolo completely, disassemble it, and try and get it cleaned up the best I can, and then drop all the new saddles in place, and hopefully that's going to look a whole lot better. But yeah, so far so good. Feels like it's going to sit in place correctly. It should adjust string tension, no problem. Should be able to tune with no issues whatsoever. So really looking forward to getting this back into playing condition, because it'd be nice to play this without drawing blood for a change. All right, so we got the bridge out, and the last time I think I gave it a complete disassembly and a cleaning was sometime in college, which would have been any time between 1989 and 1992. And see, we've got some, I don't know what the hell that is, but that is kind of freaking nasty, that's for sure. It's just dust or skin or who knows what. But yeah, that needs to be cleaned up. This whole thing's in pretty rough shape. So I found myself my old bottle of keg deoxit, and I'm gonna throw all the parts in here, give it a good lubrication for everything that we're keeping. Basically, the only thing that's getting changed out here are the saddles themselves, and they're in great shape. They fit great, but yeah, all the rest of the pins and stuff, that's got to stay. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, frets are feeling pretty frictiony, shall we say. These aren't sliding like they should. Easiest way to increase the sustain on your guitar is to polish the frets. At least that's what I've found. And it's probably been about a good 10 years since the frets have been polished on this thing. It's definitely overdue, so let's tape that up and see what we can do. And it looks like all that green painter's tape I spent all that time meticulously putting on did absolutely nothing whatsoever. So we're going to clean this up with some lemon oil and hopefully get this fretboard looking a whole lot better. And after a little bit of lemon oil, it seems to have cleaned the fretboard up quite nicely. The frets are definitely feeling much smoother now, and this thing is just about ready to be restrung. I'm just looking for any little bits I might have missed in the cleanup process. All right, so I gotta say the Graphtech's fit on here absolutely perfect. Once again, these pins here are the originals. The Graphtech ones wouldn't actually fit in through the section here. I don't know, the grid or the gate or whatever that's called, but they were just a little bit too big, so we're with the originals here. You can see on the Floyd here, maybe I'll get some super close-ups on this, but there's still a bit of wear and tear on the Floyd, but the part that counts the most, the saddles, they're brand new and they sound great. And honestly, I swear the guitar sounds just a little bit louder than it did with the originals. Of course, I didn't do a before and after recording, and I'll call myself out on my own bullshit, but I swear this thing resonates louder now because of the new saddles. Maybe that's due to the original saddles being so far gone. Anyway, yeah, the guitar is an absolute joy to play now. The action is brilliant. It's still one of the best playing guitars I've ever had the extreme pleasure of putting my hands on in my 36 years of playing guitar. This is one of the finest instruments I've ever got to play. And yeah, I mean, like, this got me through 3 years of college, and I've had it my entire life as a working adult, and it still plays and sounds great. So that's my 29 fret Washburn. Hopefully you're going to see it on the show in some upcoming videos, get to use it on some amp demos or cabinet demos, that kind of thing. I'm happy to see this thing back in action. Just want to give a great big shout out to Graphtech for supplying the string saver saddles. These things are absolutely brilliant. As you can see, they've got a little bit of absorption material under the strings, so apparently your strings are going to last longer than they would on a normal Floyd. You know, originally I was thinking about replacing the entire Floyd, but I'm thinking, nah, you know what, I'll try and keep this as original as possible. It looks pretty cool, even with the patina, as it were now. It's got a little bit of rust spots and whatnot. I've cleaned it up the best I could, but I think it gives it some character, but I'll make sure I wipe it down when I'm done with it, that's for sure. Now, here's something cool. I was talking with the Washburn guys at last year's NAMM about them doing a new version of this guitar, and I'm curious, what would you guys like to see? Would you like to see a new 29 fret Washburn? Would you like to see it with the crackle finish? Or would you like to see it with something a little bit more traditional wood grain, that kind of thing? I'm very curious. Oh yeah, almost forgot. What's it sound like over the 24th fret? Yeah, whoa. This goes up to a high A. I almost forgot. Yeah, that's kind of the whole point of this guitar. I mean, like, go up here. And I gotta say, you know, it's kind of difficult to play above the 24th, especially if like you're like me and you got huge fingers. I mean, like, kind of got to turn your fingers sideways to get in there. Kind of fun to have, but it's a little bit like Spinal Tap having amps that go to 11. You know, you're only going to use it every once in a while. I think I've only ever gone over the 24th in a solo once, and that was just to get up there, just to kind of, you know, make a little bit of a statement. But that's in some 32 years of having this guitar, 33 years now of having this guitar. And that's the thing. This guitar was actually white like this coffee mug was once upon a time, and it's kind of yellowed over age, but I don't know. I think it gives it some character. Anyway, like I said, I'm just grateful to see it back in action, and you guys should be seeing it on the show quite a bit from now on. So yeah, let me know, what would you guys like to see another 29 fret Washburn? I want to see if there's some interest out there, see if anybody wants to get their hands on one. I know they did one a couple years ago. It didn't do all that great, but personally, I'd love to see a version of this for 2021 or 2022. I think it'd be cool to see. Maybe we can try some different pickups. This one's branded Washburn pickups, and I'm not sure what they are. I mean, like, honestly, I really suspect they're EMGs. Like, we've got a little battery pack back here, but this guitar's got something really unique on it. This is actually a knob for the pickup. It's this is actually the boost you're dialing in here. So So let me know, would you guys want to see a version of the 29 fret for 2021 or 2022 from Washburn? What kind of finish you'd like to see, all that kind of things. Let me know. You got some stories about some cool off-the-wall guitars that you're fond of? Hey, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you guys next time.